Hey guys, what's going on? Today I'm going to be talking to you today about value returning function.
What are you doing? You're doing your dumbass video again? Really, come on, bro. You're better than that. Come on.
Man, I just don't know. I just don't know how to talk about this.
Stick to what you know.
Shoot. You're right. You're right.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy back in another video. This one's gonna be special. You know, it's a simple concept for like C++ programmers that understand more or less, you know, and in many other languages as well. This is a very, you know, commonly used practice of something on how to get a return value back from a function. In this case, called a value returning function, as you can see right there. So that's cool. So the important thing to think about here is just what are you going to be returning? So more or less, you know how to put together a simple program that can run, you know, with just the main function, and that's about it. But this is what I'll be talking to you today about, how to use an external function to get a return value. So let's go ahead and just make a sample program. Okay, so you have the main function. That's great, but so far it's empty right now. So you're gonna need to kind of know what you're gonna be working with. So we'll make it kind of simple. We'll make it like, I don't know, we'll make it with a base and an exponent. That's a pretty simple, you know, program. I mean, it works. So let's try that out. So far, you know how to use, you know, standard output, standard input, you know, with the extraction and insertion operators, the two little, you know, chompers and all that, little Pac-Mans. So that's kind of easy to understand. But what you're here is to understand how to use an external function to return a value, to kind of make it more readable. So what we're going to be using is the values returned from base and exponent to be used for the function. So I know what you're thinking about, you know, okay, so how does this work? How do I expect to look at this? So the thing is, what you're gonna be looking at is a bottom function that you're gonna name with the value type that you're gonna be returning back. In this case, it would be an int, and the name of your function, let's say int exponent. And then what you need to do is put the parameters of what values will be put in from int main into the external function. So in this case, but an important thing to keep in mind, it's that you can't do what you did in the declaration parameters as you do in int main, where you list one data type and then the two variable names. No. You need to independently, you know, declare each variable, just because it's a whole different function. It doesn't understand the parameters. Because computers are very dumb. You know, you're the one that's telling them what to do, because they have no idea what to do with any of that information. What you need to understand first is that it'll be returning one value. So you have to, you know, declare a value inside of here, because an exponentially multiplied value is a product, so it's multiplied. I'm not too good with math, but you know, I kind of have to be as a comp sci major, so making me step up. So now what you do is you have to kind of understand how you're going to be using said value. So an algorithm. Okay, so what you have here is the algorithm that you'll be using to kind of make your own function work. You can make it as simple as possible. It's a simple, you know, a multiplication or an addition returning value, but in this case, you know, something a bit more. I mean, you can use C math. They do have more math-oriented libraries to work with those kinds of situations, but in this case, if you want to make your own with your own function and make it kind of more, I guess, accessible to your own self and more rewarding per se, you know, it's good to challenge yourself with these problem-solving situations. So there you go. So in this case, yeah, we'll just have to do the next step, which you have the header of the value returning function. You would take that and paste it in between the library declaration, which is at the very top, and in between int main, because that's where it's going to be referencing the value returning function from. Easy as that. Just, you know, put that in there and end it with a semicolon, because it's its own entity. And yeah, so then what you'll do now is you'll run it through, you'll plug it into main, being able to access that function from main. So in this case, you'll have to actually declare another value You can call it like result or something. Result. There you go, just like that. So the result. So what you would do is you would set it equal to result. So result. Oh, okay. Result would equal to the actual function exponent. Then what you would do, because there are two parameters, int b and int e, you would plug in your own values that you got from your main function. In this case would be base and exp. So, and then you would semicolon. And to make sure that everything's running fine and up and dandy, you'll have to, you know, see out a standard output. So yeah, that looks kind of about it. Go ahead and run it just to make sure. And in that case, if your compiler just ends it automatically, what you can do is add the system pause. There's a setting where you can stop that from happening, but actually not too sure. I'm sure there are tons of articles on it everywhere, so that would be pretty useful. There you go. Run it again, build it, and start debugging. 2 and 6. 2 to the power of 6 is 64. Go ahead and run that calculator real quick. Just make sure that it's right. It's right, hopefully. So, I mean, yeah, that's kind of about it. So more or less, you understand the essentials of how to declare the parameters of a value returning function, how to implement it into your own function, your main function, and how to use it in an actual situation. From this, I hope you just gain a better understanding on what to expect the higher you get in computer science, whether you're still learning on how to sort certain things or how to output into different files. There are many different kinds of situations where you'll be placed into a more math mentality where you have to figure things out on your own, which is completely fine. It's part of the STEM major, which is a part of life. Just making sure that things work certain ways and that, you know, you can't mess up. It just works out in the end. And I hope you took something away from this video that you learned, and you'll be like, hey, you know what? This dude on YouTube that's a junior in computer science in university is like kind of cool. You'll be like, oh, thanks, man. And I'll say, it's okay. It's okay. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to see more, make sure to smash that subscribe button, make sure to like button, make sure to do all that extra stuff and just, you know, go crazy with it.